I was involved in the family business. I'm running 2 hotels in Bombay, a couple of restaurants. I got my education specializing in hospitality from the Cornell Hotel School. Came back, been involved in the business and taking it a few notches higher. So my wife suggested that she wants to open a cafe and walk far away from a normal profession, which is a lawyer.
I think it was a logical progression to get into this line because this is what the family was doing. So that's how I actually entered the restaurant business.
We started brainstorming on what should we do, how should we make the cafe, what should be called. And then the whole progression was we talking about our grandmother so fondly about her, the food she's cooking and the kind of love that we get from her through her cuisine. And we said let's name it after her and take influences from her and her life and then open the cafe. And that is the first name that came up, then the whole menu around the name, the decor around the name. And the first outlet was opened in Dadar, right next to our flagship restaurant Pritam. And got up by wildfire, and then now we've opened the second outlet in Lower Parel and opening one soon in October in the suburbs. Eight months before we opened Grandma's Cafe, that means when you open in October, 8 months before that is when we thought about it, conceptualized this, got chefs on board, started working on the interiors, getting it all in place.
The first Grandmamas that we opened up in Dadar, most of the art that even went up on the wall came out of our living room. All I did was I took these old vintage trays that were lying in the house. They actually have a last name embossed on them, and I put them up on the wall. Most of the frames that have little pieces of embroidery, that have little bathrobes made, have been handmade by Abhayraj's grandmom and my grandmom, and that was the basic idea behind it. Given any day, I love comfort Italian, which doesn't mean that it has to be very swanky food. It doesn't have to be the most, classy food. It just has to be comfort Italian. So it has to be cheesy, it has to be tomatoey, it has to have a little bit of masala because we are Indian at the end of the day. And that's what we've tried to keep here also, comfort Italian. And that's what you'll find on the menu. Everything will have a little extra bit of love in the form of fat or butter or cream. So that's what helps. And I think my favorite dish here would probably be the khichdi, the BBG's Achari khichdi, because we do have a couple of Indian dishes on the menu. We've actually dedicated a wall in the restaurant to remedies, and these remedies have come out of our grandmom's little book. It's a little black book which has all her remedies in it. And similarly, even in our menu, all our cocktails are designed around remedies.
For example, pomegranate, if it's healthy for the heart, and that's why they put the name of the drink is a healthy heart martini, because it's a pomegranate martini. People who think they are, they don't like too much intake of too many calories. There is a drink which is called the Weight Watcher, which is made from agave syrup. And similarly, all the cocktails in the menu are actually remedy cocktails, which are good for you in some way or the other.
It's soothing to the eyes. You feel as though it'll almost calm you down. You know, you have a long day at work, come here, sit here, have a cup of tea, unwind. Actually, the smiles on people's faces when they enter and see a beautiful place. Secondly, when they get their food, and when you come up to the table and ask them, is everything okay? And then there's a big smile on their face and they thank you for opening a place that is actually enjoyable and people can come with their families and kids. It actually makes you happy that you're actually building bonds between people who are coming in here.